whatsoever.
Alrighty.
All right, the closest thing we'll do to actual proper form is it's Ryan Douglas, double world champion.
Yeah. Yeah. New title. Make
Does
sure my girlfriend doesn't forget it. I say make sure you refer to me as world champion. I like to
dude,
throw
I
that in there when we're going
I
back
just
and
got a
forth.
Decker Ruck World Championship, and I do the same thing. I'm like, yep, I even bump in line in the bathroom because nope, world champion, good to go. That's the rules. Dude, so the weird thing is though, and I don't consider it this, so but it is technically an age group championship because the Elite 15 is the other one. But it's almost bullshit because it's so fucking competitive.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird thing to wrap my head around. I think I don't know. I kind of think of it in parallel to like Ironman, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
people racing Ironman who compete in the age group championships, and I know that they're not quite professionalized the same way that the top circuit would be, but the sport is evolving so quickly. And like you mentioned, the depth of that age group field, if you will, definitely had some guys who are typical mainstays in that elite field. So
Well, like, you had Jack Driscoll in there, right? And
yeah,
Jack's already locked in for the Elite 15 for next year.
he is.
And it wasn't just like you didn't just win your age, you won all across the board.
Yeah. And that was the surprising thing. I figured when I finished up that some of those older guys, I know Graham Halliday
Hmm.
still had to finish. Aitor, a Spanish guy who I think also does DECA,
Yeah.
was still to finish. So I figured they'd probably beat my time. And then by the time the dust had settled on the excitement after finishing, they came across in like 56 minutes. So I figured, all right, well, maybe we got 105 points when that was not at all the expectation in that trip to Stockholm.
That one, so I mean, I'm on record as not being a super fan of the current system or the new system, but that should have been worth more than 105. If a regular major, whatever, was 110, that should have been worth more because you're not like, yeah, it's the world championship. It's not just a regular race, right? Like, I think it should have been about more, at least a few more, because it's going to come down. I predict anyway that it's going to come down to you need 505s, right? You need 5 wins. You need
Yeah.
that 225. I think that's what it'll eventually be. And so getting that one little extra point or two little extra points on a bigger race like that, I think should have warranted it.
Yeah. I heard that a few times post race. I definitely wish that was the case, but I think to play devil's advocate, I think back on that race in DC and the depth of that race and racing in a field that was that dense in high level competitors with Cole and Dylan and Rich,
Yeah.
even Grayson and Gabe pushing the pace of that race. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit, but still some work to do to be claiming 108, 110 points from a race. So
You got lots of time. Now, you're still 20,
25.
25. Yeah, there's a bit of time left.
Yeah,
Um, and then you did the doubles, right, with Lindsay.
yeah,
And
that
I
was a
didn't,
blast.
what's that?
That was a blast.
The doubles in every racing is better. It's just more fun in my mind. I'm for doubles anything, teams anything, relays. They're just more fun. Yeah, I push harder, way harder.
The majority of the races you've done in Hyrox, have they been solo or doubles?
Majority have been doubles.
Yeah.
I've only done two solos, and one was a complete joke. So
Was that in Ottawa?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, the one where I
In a
didn't run
kilt?
in the kilt, and I didn't run any of the runs. Right. So
Oh, really?
it was just a joke. It was a complete DQ. I mean, I went out there just for laughs. I got the race from a friend. And it was just a matter of, hey, let's go out and do something fun. I had a shirt on that said, "Don't follow me, I'm cheating." Like, you know, it was a good time. It was good. So yeah. So I mean, all the rest though have been doubles with my wife or with John Cross, and I just enjoy it so much more. You know. Anyway, so you did. Why don't we go? I guess talk a little bit about your first race because I mean, we didn't get to watch it, right?
Mhm.
That's the one downside we didn't get to. So how did it go? I mean, your splits wise, and did did you get a like, did you have a plan off the start? Because you get to race against people in your age group for a change.
Mhm.
You're actually getting to go head to head. Did you have a plan, like to go out at a certain pace, go out hot, hang back? What was the game plan?
My commitment going into that solo race was just to run my own best race. And the reason I say that is because in Ottawa, I guess it was 5 weeks prior, Fred Dubé was also in my heat. Rich had raced 2 nights before and run a time that I figured on a fair course setup
Hmm.
was a time I could run, being a 55 low, coming off a few 56 low times earlier in the season. I figured, you know what, that's a time to shoot for. But my thought was, hey, let's go for it. Let's see where we're at against Fred. So in that race, I went out pretty hot with him, knowing that he tends to sled pull very well and burpee very well. And my thought was, if I want to beat him, I'm going to have to be with him by the time we're leaving those stations. So ended up blowing up a little bit in that race. And at that point felt for one of the first times like this is what happens if you go for it and you don't plan to execute your best race and the time isn't a reflection of your fitness. Knowing that worlds can kind of be a crapshoot with like who shows up, how deep the field is. My thought for that solo race was just be patient, build into the race, and that's kind of what I did. Obviously at Worlds, you've got a lot of guys, especially in those younger age groups, who are going for broke, trying to win the thing. And we definitely felt that. I think I got to the sled push in ninth and left the sled push in third. Felt good. And that was an area I'd put a lot of emphasis in training over the last, I guess, 12 weeks leading into Worlds, just like a bit of a change in approach to how I tackled that in training. And then pulled really well, made a move on the leader, leaving the pull, and then through the burpees. Normally, I've been attacking burpees, but ended up pulling back a little bit, and that saved me. I think a lot of the guys who were up front had burned a lot of their matches. And then from that point, I felt good and just kind of built through it. Had Jack right on my shoulder by the end there, and there'd been a few races through Vancouver in December and then Houston in the spring
And you guys have teamed
where
up before too, right?
yeah, every race we run together, we seem to be neck
Yeah.
and neck right to the end. And it's funny it shook out that way, but it was good and felt very rewarding to finally take one from him on a race like that.
So I'm finding, Hyrox still, I hate saying it's young sport, whatever, but it's cyclical in strategy. People used to be patient and they would wait and try to come and finish strong. And then you had people like Lauren and Hunter and people like that, Bronkovich, Tim, Joanna, Meg, Michaela. They all decided, no, we're going out hot and let's see who stays with us. And that was winning the battles because there'd be like three of them that went out hot and one of them would survive and make it to the end and get the
Mhm.
win. And then if you waited too long, you maybe had a shot at a podium, but not the win. That was the mindset. Um, Now it's gone to, I mean, we look at what you did, we look at what Dylan did, we look at how um, not so much with Alyssa, but even still, Lauren and Joanna winning it, going out even ahead of her, and then coming back. Is it like a complete tide turn in strategy now? Do you think that next year, come time Worlds next year, we're going to see a much less fast start, like that people are going to hold back a little bit more and save it?
It's hard to say, and I'm thinking it through as we sit here and have the conversation. You wonder if something like the temperature, even just being a little bit warmer in Stockholm. Now, granted, I didn't feel this too much on the day, and maybe I'm one of the few who had a couple other variables go my way, such that I didn't really get impacted by the heat. But I think if it's a cool venue and that's not a factor, you may have seen a situation where Hunter, Tim, or Charlie hang on and take that and don't give Dylan the chance to close the gap the way that he did. But yeah, I think both strategies can win. I'm shocked, to be honest, that Dylan was able to make up whatever, I guess, a minute gap leaving the push,
Well,
just
he was
because
he
the
was in
margins are so
14th.
thin.
Yeah, he was in 14th out of the poll, which
Yeah.
effectively was last.
Hmm. But yeah, I don't know. It's keeps you on your toes for sure.
Yeah, it might just be a case of strategy suits the athlete. Like
Yeah.
again, I don't think we could ever see Lauren hold back. I know other people are suggesting it. I don't think it'll work for her.
Yeah, I think I was listening to you, Matt, and Cheryl have that conversation
Oh yeah.
shortly after Worlds, but I don't know. She's got to try something different.
Yeah. That's one thing Beth and because I asked Beth that one too, is like, does she have to do something different? Is it time? Is this, but oh, I don't know. It's, well, for her, clearly, still that sled. That sled's got to get fixed.
Hmm.
That'll be the one thing. But
Yeah.
what about you? What hinders you? What do you come out of there? And I mean, even though winning, I'm sure you come out going, I got to improve. If I want to take that next step, I got to improve here. Where's the improvement spot? Like if I want to get to that Elite 15.
The running is the low-hanging fruit across the board.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's the one metric that I'm continuing to track and improve quarter over quarter or season over season, and it's continuing to get better. But if you look at how those top guys run, it's a different thing. So definitely going to be a longer term progression on that front. And then otherwise, the wall balls, I think a lot of that is mental too, but just knowing that you've been there before and you can hang in there. Because yeah, I mean DC, I had a bit of an episode, ended up having like a 9 minute wall ball, and I think some of that obviously is not just as simple as like you gave up. There was like a bit of like a body shutdown at that point, whether it was heat or
Mhm.
whatever, but that's so important. And then otherwise, I think the elite guys, like there's no reprieve on something like the row. You look at their row splits, they're making up 15 seconds, in some cases 20 seconds on the row erg, whereas I think in age group racing, you can get away with kind of resetting mid race. So that'll be another area. And I think that just comes with being able to keep your foot on the gas for 50 to 55 minutes straight as opposed to two 30-minute bouts with a little reprieve in the middle there.
So you and Lindsay, you guys won
Mhm.
the mixed doubles. Is there a way to make mixed doubles Elite 15?
I don't know. Heard some rumors this past year that that may have been why Lauren was racing with Rich and racing with Dylan, and that may be coming down the pipeline with some of the intel that they have. But I think it'd be cool. I mean, it's another really high quality offering to watch. Obviously, you think about how can you standardize the split between the male and female components in the stations. But to your point, it's exciting in a different way, and it's a little bit it's unique, right? They're all kind of unique in a way. But hey, like I said, that was a blast. Just ripping the stations, pulling Lindsay through those runs. I mean, yeah, just a different kind of fun.
Yeah, she had a great event too. Love Lindsay. She's
She
great.
did. Yeah.
Um, so I don't know, but I don't know if you caught any of this online, but there were people who were bothered by, and probably you. I don't know if I saw your name mentioned or not, but someone who has been an Elite 15 athlete running an age group and specifically in the mixed doubles. And I don't know if you heard Beth and I talk about this one, but we were like, what the hell else are they supposed to do? There's no higher level. Did you actually catch any of that? Did you hear any or
I did. There were a couple instances of doubles teams that were a bit confusing. One being a German athlete, Paul Windel, who
Mhm.
raced with Fabi Eisenlauer in
Yeah.
men's doubles. I think they won overall men's doubles. Fabi had raced the night before
In
in the
elite?
elite with Jeremy McConnell. That one was kind of confusing. And then,
Those are what you did and what they did. That's a very different situation in my mind.
right, he's racing at the elite level at the World Championship. And then Holly Archer and Luke Greer teaming up for mixed doubles. I will say I'm not one for adding any more red
Hmm.
tape where we don't need it. I think it makes it more competitive. And at the end of the day, when you're at a global competition like that, I want to see the best talent out there. I think it'd be great to see more of those elites coming back on Sunday and just burning the house down in a mixed doubles.
Yeah. So in the mixed doubles, I don't man, if Melissa and Dylan wanted to come in after the world championships and do it in mixed double, I'd be like, I got no qualms with that whatsoever. Because again, it's the highest level they can compete at.
Hmm.
Um, the other side where you have like an elite double athlete in men's coming then to compete in the age group in men's at the same event. I'm not as clear on that one. That one, I'm like, it's got a little more of a sour taste to it on that one for me. Even though it is a different partner, it's still like, same event, same thing. I don't know. That one's different.
What's your take on mixed doubles becoming part of the elite offering of the sport?
I want it to be. I'm not 100% sure the current way it's laid out that we don't end up in the men's open with a woman chasing on the run. We've seen them Ronk do that before. I mean, Dylan and Tara Jackson did that in, I think it was New York ages ago. They were the first people I saw do it. I don't really want to see that. But I don't honestly, and that's why I don't gripe about it too much, is usually I don't like to bitch about something unless I have a real solution. I don't really have a logistical good one for it, being as the nature. I have shitty ones for it, but I don't have any good ones. And I'm like, I've heard people say, make people do a certain percentage. That is way too much officiating and way too hard to keep track of.
Hmm.
You could take like the relay version where men do certain specific stations, women do other stations. That is plausible, but I don't really think is great. There's the Deca version where you don't make everybody run together, where you can just split everything up all the way, which is exciting, but turns it in a completely different race, and Hyrox would have to really change their setup. So I don't foresee that happening. So I think that's the reason. I'm almost positive that's the reason they haven't done it yet, is they haven't figured it out either. I
Hmm.
mean, would you just do it as it is?
I think so. And to give you an example, I raced with Lindsay at Worlds, but we saw Maddie Ibergen,
Mhm.
for example, race and looking at her run splits in her pro women's race, she and Saskia are running
Yeah.
faster than the top age group men at world championships. And my thought with that is if I'm running with Maddie versus Lindsay, and no disrespect to Lindsay, right? Great athlete.
Oh, no, no, but Lindsay's a power athlete. Maddie's a speed athlete.
Right. And that just changes the dynamic of the race, right? It's not so much like if I ran with Maddie, I would be as fresh to hit the stations as when I ran with Lindsay, right? So it just adds a different
Mhm.
constraint. And I think if you eliminate some of that red tape and say go, I think you would see some teams that try to set it up like an open race for the male with the woman running with them. And they may be surprised to see that the team that's running a little bit slower than them, but the male is a little fresher for the stations, actually tends to do a little bit better. So
I'd
I
buy
don't know.
that. I'd buy that. I'd go,
Yeah.
I would be, yeah, do it until it's a problem. And
Hmm.
maybe it doesn't become a problem. I'd be all right with that. Does Maddie make the Elite 15 next year?
She should. She should. I mean, that's the thing with the new qualification system, right? Is her being a master's student at UVic
Yeah.
and having aspirations to be racing at the LA Games. It's definitely a interesting curveball. Thankfully for her, it's kind of a win-win if all works out on both ends. But I'm just excited that she got some well-deserved airtime. Lots of people butchering that name across various podcasts and whatnot and conversations that I've had. But yeah,
Well,
heck
at
of
least
an
she's getting
athlete.
mentioned now, like you say, though.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I saw some podcasts where they mentioned they went like Sasuke and then right to Wade, Rachel Wade. And she was
Hmm.
literally in between the two of them and they skipped her. It's like, come on.
They just don't want to be caught butchering a name of someone who's going to be a great.
Yeah, well. I'm used to butcher names. It don't bother me. I yeah, she's someone we want to get on. We have yet to work something out with her. I think Beth was reaching out. I don't know. With the two of us, sometimes we, you know, plan to do things and don't. We just, I don't know. But she's one we want to talk to. I honestly don't think she'll do it next year because I think she's too preoccupied and I can't see her. So she's got what? So it was only her second race, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the
And
first
no
one.
points because she hasn't got a pro card.
Yeah, there you go. So she'd need to do full more races before Worlds, and I just don't see her doing. I sincerely hope I'm wrong, but I just don't see her doing two. And maybe what she might do is hook up with someone and do a doubles and get in the elite doubles that way, you know, or
Hmm.
do the mixed. The mix
I
might
was
be the quicker way.
we were we were chatting actually this weekend, and it sounds like she's got a few races lined up. So even if it's not the, I mean, obviously not the cruise, um, but even if it's not London or a race before the holidays, I think in the later half of the season
Yeah.
she could get in and land one of those qualifying spots, which would be awesome to see a Canadian female in the elite field again.
Yeah, it's been a while since Maria was there.
Hmm.
Um, you hitting the cruise?
I don't think so. No, no. Yeah, all sights set for me on trying to get to London, whether it be in that challenger division or if the early season races can go well. I mean, I think I'll probably need two wins to even have a shot at being in roll down territory for the top 15 in London in December. But that'll be around when Tampa is. I'm hoping to get to Tampa. So
What do you think it'd take to get into the Challenger? What kind of numbers for that?
probably 5:05.
505?
Yeah, so
We could
three.
probably look at it
Yeah.
and see where it's at.
Oh, I'm on there more than I'd like to admit.
Oh yeah, I've done that lots.
Have
Let's
you played with Martin Enthoven's website at all?
no, no, when's that one?
I think he rebranded it for a while. The URL was just his name, but I think it's now like Pro Hyrox Stats,
Okay.
something like that. But he's got all kinds of stuff on there. He's got like Jack Bauer from the Race Brain crew.
Yep.
He used to do what they'd call like a Jack's butt
Yep.
calculation of how fast a course was.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
Martin's got all that information and like depth of field information on his website, which is just really interesting to benchmark times like Vancouver, which we've learned was insanely fast,
Yeah.
to something like Worlds and look at progression that way. So cool info on there, but all those sites publicizing the points data are definitely helpful.
I've been dealing with Jack for years since OCR and stuff, and he had I don't know if you ever saw it, but back in the OCR days, he had a Spartan ranking system where literally he had a mathematical algorithm that everybody who raced would, I don't know if you ever saw it, would go in and you get a ranking like if you played NHL 97 or whatever, and you'd have your ranking number with you all the way down. So anybody who did a competitive race would have a ranking. And it was all done on results, strength of field, all this stuff, course, everything. It was really cool. And I would love to see him transfer that into Hyrox, even though now it's easier with the times being fairly standardized, somewhat standardized, but still this bringing that strength of field and coming out with just like a number of a ranking would be really cool to have.
Well, then that raises the question, right? Of like, if we have people outside of Hyrox as a governing body that are putting together these equations, there's got to be a way that we can add some nuance to the qualification system. I don't know. Who knows if it ever gets to that point, but there's definitely data out there to support any kind
Yeah.
of more advanced calculation for sure.
I'm I'm always in the simplest way is the best way for me with that thing, and I'll die on that horse until they do it. But yeah, there's enough stuff. The I mean, this one to me, obviously, it's a case of the rich get richer. Where if you're in the top five in the majors, great, you're racing five. You're not doing anything but majors because you don't have to because you're in the top. You never will. But if you're in that back five in majors, you're probably gonna have to run at least 10 races in the year, right? If you hit all the majors and then you gotta hit five more in the qualifyings. Eh, yeah, that's a lot. That's a
Mhm.
lot of racing, and I think it's a mistake. I think it's too much. That's I mean, I said that from the beginning, and we'll see if I'm proved right or wrong. Again, as always, hoping I'm wrong. But it's yeah, it's a lot. And then the doubles one is going to be three wins all the way down. It's just going to be full of tiebreakers.
I was surprised to see it's not quite there yet. I think there's eight men's teams that have won three. Be a
Hmm.
good battle in that back grouping. But yeah, the I'm thinking too, even for doubles, racing with Isaac, if we go that route, I mean, you got to be pretty selective in where you're going to race because, like you said, you need to win.
Yeah,
Otherwise, that race is no good for you.
yeah. I'm South America seems to be the way to go. That's a good
China,
spot.
the
China,
Asian
South
Summer
America.
Tour.
Yeah, those are the good ones. But then you don't know who else thinks it and just decides to make the trip, and all of a sudden your grand plan is like, crap, now I'm in for a battle.
Yeah.
There's no easy wins, but I
Hefty
do.
summer vacation.
I am happy that they're doing the, at least from an age group perspective, that every race has a qual spot, because I know going into Ottawa, me and my partner John, we really weren't planning to go to Sweden anyway, but we were just like, we didn't know until the day of that there would even be a qual spot for us, if whether we won or not. So it's, if you're really trying to get there and you're planning your races not knowing, you could show up for a race you've spent thousands of dollars to get to and, oh, no spots available.
Mhm.
So I'm really glad they finally tidied that up. That seemed like something they should have done day one, but yeah, it'll help me this year anyway.
Is that a goal of yours for this year? Get to Hong Kong?
We want to qualify, and then we'll decide if we'll go when that happens. I mean, dude, that's a pricey trip. Like, I mean, I don't know, have you looked at it from here? Like,
I've looked at travel time, but I have not even tried to add up what that would be. Because, yeah, you wouldn't want to go 2 days before and then leave right after. You'd want to make a trip out of it, I
I'm
think.
think I'm thinking like 5K just to get there and back, not including
Mhm.
any of the any stays or food or anything. So sponsorship, needing some sponsorship.
Yeah.
Fire department sponsor, that'd be good.
So, DECA coming to Toronto.
Yeah, are you in?
Gi- Give me your pitch. I don't know. I haven't done a DECA race, but that's going to be hard to say no to given the timing.
It. So I will say this. I mean, and I'm not a salesman at all, because it's something I'm actually shit at. But for me, what if you put just the races themselves, like take away the production value and like the other things that Hyrox does well, and take away some of the things they don't do well, and take away some of the things Deca, take all that stuff away, just strip it down just to the race itself, the movements and stuff. I actually prefer Deca, especially the teams. The and like mixed teams, so mixed relay and Deca with the nuances to the strategy is so crazy. It's so much fun. So I really prefer that in teams. I think it's one of the most fun races out there. Solo, it just compared to Hyrox, it's just gonna burn hotter. It and it so much comes down to what you have when you get to that bike. So you have to have enough to really hammer that bike and then to survive the rest of it. So but it's a lot of fun. It's a very, very fun race.
Does the bike fall midway?
Yeah, zone 7 out of 10.
Okay.
So you hit the bike and you'll go through the 25 cal on it, and then after that there's like the heavy dead ball over the bar, and then the tank, and the tank is just exhausting. It's have you ever pushed one yet?
No.
So it's not like the sled. Like the sled is, you're rewarded for extra effort. The tank is kind of like almost like an erg, where if you put an extra 5 or an extra 10% effort in, you might get an extra 5% of results. So you have to gauge what you can do and what you can't do and whatnot, and it becomes a bit of a strategy that way. Yeah, the harder you push, the harder it fights back. Like a 3-year-old can, well, I don't know if they're, but like a 5-year-old can push it. But as soon as you try to push it faster, it fights back more. It's just, it's it's done. And then the finish with the ram burpees, I like that finish as well. And
Do
so,
they have, is there a relay for all race formats or is it just the fit?
those relay for all race formats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my personal favorite's the mile one. It just, again, it hits even faster, even harder. I mean, top end teams are going 15, sub 15 minutes, and it's just nonstop smash switch. There is no pacing. It's just go. It's like doing a 30-30 interval run. Just hard as you can, recover, hard as you can, recover, hard as you can, recover. And you're you're dead on the ground for your CNS just gets hammered. You're dead on the ground after. It looks like you get hit with a sniper. It's very CrossFit-esque in the finish, not in the style of the race, but in the finish, you're just done, just cooked. So that's my favorite one. But even the strong with no running, you double up on that. You can do teams on that, and that's some fun strategy too.
Yeah, some busy weekends seeing AJ Golick race 5, 6 times in a weekend or
He's
yeah.
very underrated.
He's a jack of many trades.
Yeah. Yeah, and dude is much stronger than anybody thinks. Like you don't look at him and see it, but he's actually quite strong for his size and his shape. You know, I was very surprised with that with him as to how much strength he was backing, but a nice kid too. Everybody's a kid, but good guy. Where did you see him race in New York or?
We actually met my first ever Hyrox race. That was Toronto 2024.
Oh,
So
okay.
we raced men's open together. Met him and his mom. Yeah, they were great people, but it seems every race that I go to, he's there throwing down not just once, but sometimes three, four times. So
Kind of the
yeah,
underdog way.
yeah, he's always in the mix.
Yeah, yeah. I think was he out to World's Toughest Mudder, I think too. Like he just does everything. I know he goes to Rally in the Valley and does well there on that one.
Mhm.
At least he did last year. Like he beat Kevin Gregory at Rally in the Valley. He's just and yeah, he's a really underrated dude. So hopefully he gets a little more kudos. I did he break 60 yet?
He's close.
I
Yeah,
know I
he's
know he's
very
right
close.
around there. I don't know if he actually got it though.
Won't be long.
No, no. But yeah, if you hit the Deca, you'll it's a hard just a hotter burn, you know.
Seems that way for sure.
But you won't have to specify for it, right? It's easier to come down for the thing and just hang on. But that would
Is
be
that
what's
going to
that?
be at the Enercare Center as well?
No, it's up by the airport, the International Center,
Oh, okay.
which I think for me is great because it's only 30 minutes away. But also anybody flying in, right? You're 5 minutes from the airport with about 8 million hotels around. The
Hmm.
only downside is if you want to go explore downtown, you got to take that train.
Right. I heard a rumor that Hyrox Toronto wasn't going to be at Enercare this year either. I don't know, but it's
I
been
don't know.
tight the last 2 years. We'll see where it ends up. Not many other options right in the heart of the city that would work for parking and whatnot.
No, that's what I liked about that one is the parking is really plentiful. There's underground, even if it was, and Toronto wise was cheap, it was like $10. If I'm not mistaken, $10 or $20, which for Toronto is dirt cheap, and it
Hmm.
was easy to get to. For going to Toronto, I couldn't have picked a better spot for it, unless they do the same and go out by the airport or head just out of the same. But they like to be downtown.
I know got some flack from the Americans who've come up for that race just on the venue because obviously it's a bit tighter setup. I feel like
Hmm.
very populated, but it is nice and close to Liberty Village, some other decent hotels and
Yeah.
restaurants and whatnot, which I feel like Toronto's pretty good for the food scene. So
You can stay in that X hotel, but it's like I looked at that when they were doing it just out of curiosity, and oh, they jacked up. But they're always expensive, but it was more than 500 a night.
oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
No.
Thankfully, we're just down the street here in Fort York, so that's one of the few we can save a buck on. But yeah, that X Hotel, not cheap.
Well, even when you went to Ottawa, did you hotel there or did you get an Airbnb
I slept on a buddy's couch.
to see that we got a campsite?
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, John, he's got a Jeep all set up with the Outlander thing, and I have my minivan with a bed in the back and everything. And we were gonna do the hotel, but again, they jacked them up. So instead of paying the 500 a night, we were $35 each a night and just chilled out. And it was 15 minutes from the venue.
Would love to get into that game. I mean, I'm not running many ultras these days, but I love the idea of getting out to trail races and triathlons maybe later on in life and just camping it. A couple buddies out west that will just bring their truck and rooftop setup, and that's how they get around every race.
Okay, now I tell almost everybody this. Dude, go do an RX-1. Do you know RX-1?
No.
So it's out in Quebec. It is the original hybrid race. So they started in 2012. And basically it is little lower skill CrossFit with more running. And every time the race is different and it's always outside. Well, I shouldn't say always. It's predominantly outside. Sometimes they'll put the movement zones inside, but like you'll go out, you'll run a K, you'll do like a sled, you'll run another couple of K, whatever, and then you'll do something else. Maybe it'll be anywhere from 3 to 5K. And then you'll have this pretty much like a triplet or a Metcon at the end that'll be part of the race that you'll all of a sudden be in. And anyway, We do a lot of those, or we did until we were so busy, but we did a lot of those, and they're always kind of out in the country. So you get a campsite and you go there, and it's a riot. But that might be something you'd really enjoy. And there's some fucking high skill people out there doing it. Like you know the French, right? They don't piss around.
Mhm.
When they claim something. So yeah, there's some people that are doing it that are near, you know, that are near game style, like semifinal athletes, that kind of thing. Because there's a pro division, expert, intermediate. I don't know about your kind of lifting history or whatever or not, but I would assume either a pro or an intermediate. I don't know if you can do handstand walks and whatnot.
No.
Then you probably have to start with the expert or cherry pick the right race.
Yeah, I'm good to watch CrossFit, but man, it has gotten so technical and
Oh, it's
specialized. It's
it's
crazy.
it's 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 human pet tricks. I love CrossFit, but I like old school CrossFit.
Hmm.
You
The
know,
more brute
yeah,
fitness.
yeah. I don't need to see him kayak. I don't pirouettes, doing handstands and obstacle courses as well, walking on your hands and dude, I mean, yeah, you got to be fit to do it, but that's not a test of fitness. That's a test of skill.
Hmm.
Double under crossovers. Again, it's just who spent more time as a child doing these things. So
I think I
that's right.
saw, I don't know if it was the games or the World Fitness Project, but they announced a 10K run is one of the tests. It's always fun to watch, so long as they measure it properly. Remember a couple years
Yeah,
ago,
yeah. Oh
the
yeah.
games had a 5K run and something wasn't adding up there.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was 5,000 yards. I think that's what they
So,
kind of, I know Jack was one of those people who went in and mapped out the course and pretty much came down, it's 5,000 yards. But the doubling down on it was hilarious. No,
yeah,
we was measured 3 times and this and that. I'm like, well, you fucked it up 3 times.
yeah.
Uh, it we'll see what happens this year with it. But yeah, they even joke about it in all the other events. It's like, well, it's a CrossFit 5K, so ish. They'll put ish on the even when they do ones with 800 meters, it's 800 meters ish. Because I was using one of those to try to estimate what Tia would be able to run in a solo. And I think it was might have been Rogue. No, it wasn't Rogue. It was one of the other events. Anyway, and just judging by her running pace, I had pegged her at her current condition at the time of doing like a max 63. And I got such flack for that.
Did she ever do a solo?
No,
No.
no. I didn't think she ever would. There was no the reward for doing that wasn't there because she'd have to change her training completely in order to stay up like with the Elite 15 people to even qualify. She would have to completely change her training, which means now she'd take away her income from the games, possibly lose CrossFit people loyalty, lose money instead of making money off the idea. So it was much smarter, I think, business wise for her just to do the doubles where she could hook up with a Joanna and, you know, get some good times and some potential championship stuff. But yeah, there's no way she was gonna do a solo and risk the blemish,
Hmm.
you know.
Be interesting to see what happens. I just thought it was crazy at Tori and Pro, probably a week or two after she had their second, just
Hmm.
recently. She's right back out there, out with the community. Looked like, yeah, lots
You
of
think
pep in her step.
think she'll
Just,
come back and do another one?
I don't know, it'd be cool to see. I saw, so James Newbury, who's
Yeah.
also with the Proven Group, now with the nationality um, wrinkle on the double side, Dean Flute, who's with Proven, and then James aren't paired up anymore. So it'll be interesting to see if James gets back out there too, and if Tia gets back into it. But I know Proven as a group is all in on
Yeah.
Hyrox.
Yeah, and exactly. I mean, financially tied to it. They're foolish not to, or they'd be foolish not to. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, we know Cole's linked up with them too, and I think I think it's a good move for them. I wasn't huge on how they started it. Just kind of like, oh, Tia ran race. We're now coaching. you know, always a bit of a, but I mean, if anyone could do it, she knows her shit. And well, so does Shane. But I don't know. I didn't know if Newbury and his partner would be able to stay together because I didn't know about the New Zealand Australia thing, how that would go. Because isn't there something in the UK like the UK is kind of playing that card where they're like four separate countries, but we're also the United Kingdom.
Yeah, I saw that Lauren Stockley and Charlie Searle, I think they got third in the women's
Yeah,
league doubles race. They're racing together, and I think Lauren is from Wales and Charlie's from the UK, or sorry, from England.
England. Yeah, and then
So,
you could probably throw Scotland in the mix too. I think they can probably
yeah,
pick from the three of them. I
I don't
don't,
know how that'll all work, but
and I don't know if one of Ireland, Northern or Southern Ireland is involved in there too. One or the other. I don't know. It's kind of gray. I don't. I think the same with the Olympics.
yeah, we'll see if that all shakes out.
Is the Olympic dream real?
Fun to think about,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a good product. Like being in Stockholm and seeing that setup in the arena, it felt right. I mean, a little bit big, but they did a good job of tarping off the top level of seating to make it feel like it was extremely full. And with that grid style or short course format, looked great. Being there and watching it back on YouTube, it looked pretty damn full. So
Yeah,
from that perspective, it's great.
dude, the streaming has come so far. I remember one of their first kind of streams where Beth and I rabbited it. So we were out on the course running it. And I think it was Bracken and Hunter were doing commentary and just seeing what it's come from there when realistically there was no money put in it at that time at all. And then they started really dumping the cash on it, which we were begging for, but just it does keep getting better. Their streams are just I mean they're on par with the games now. Sometimes they're better.
Mhm.
You know?
See if they can find a way to do any kind of streaming of like local events. Obviously, it's tough when you've got waves going out every 10 minutes, but I saw at one point, I think it was Belgium
Mhm.
or one of the bodies over there, they did a full stream of the top women's and men's heats. Cool
Really?
to go back and watch. I think some of those French guys that are coming up ran crazy quick times. You can go back and watch it all on Instagram. So
Because
there's ways to do it.
they didn't want to let people do that. Like there was people offering to go to local events and do that, and they're like, no, 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 and they wouldn't back in the day. You'd have Graham, who works for them, would just run and do a one man show, and then they didn't want anyone to do that anymore for regular events. I was, oh, geez.
Don't want to ding the quality, I guess.
I guess I miss watching Katie Simonson with put on her judge shirt and just jumping in and out of the zones while videoing the race.
Yeah.
So what is next then? What's the next race?
I'm gonna go to, well, actually, the first race, I'm doing a 6 hour trail race in July, just something
Okay,
to focus a little bit. And then I think I'm gonna go to Acapulco, Mexico in September.
okay.
I've got a buddy with family down there, so I've been there a few times. Figure that'll
Another
be a fun one to get
another
to.
couch.
Hopefully, a little bit better setup than a couch, but we will see. And then after that, Toronto, and then maybe Tampa. And then after that, we'll have to see. I know the cut date, like I said, for that December series of races will be actually before Dallas, which I figured would
Mhm.
fall within the window, but it'll be a little too late. And I don't know if I'm going up to Denver or Salt Lake to test my luck at altitude. So we'll have to see.
Are you doing Knoxville or not Knoxville? Nashville. Sorry.
That's the plan. Yeah, that sounds like it'll be a big one. I saw they
I,
added a fifth day.
I'm not. I'm not keen on a lot of the venues, but Nashville's one I would like to go to. I don't think I can. I'm just too busy, but that just seems like a fun town to go to, and it's got that little big city vibe to it. I would like to. I think that one's gonna be a riot.
Have you been to Nashville before?
Just briefly, I haven't spent a ton of time there. Almost just kind of drive through in there for a night kind of deal. But I would like to. That's one of those cities I would like to go for. Like an extended weekend or something like that. 4 day or something like that.
Hmm.
Be great. Where would you like to see them have it?
Montreal.
Montreal? Yeah.
I gotta think that that's not far off. They're like there's a lot of Quebecers that are coming to Toronto and then Ottawa too. I think that was what was cool and stood out about Ottawa after racing a few more spring races this year than in the past. It had a very like grassroots feel to it. Sure, there were quite a few people who knew of Hyrox who have raced before, but
Mhm.
you still had quite a few people. It was their first race, and I think that was cool. But Montreal would be cool. Um, I mean, I work with First Form, who's out of
Yep.
St. Louis, and they seem to have a pretty cult-like following in the city. I don't know that it'd be quite big enough there yet, but I know that they would take up a ton of space with their community.
I would love to see Halifax.
Yeah, you think you could pull enough people out there?
I don't know, dude. It's just personal th I lived in Nova Scotia for a long time, and Halifax is one of the coolest cities. Like if you're looking for a city with a great nightlife and a lot of fun stuff to do and beautiful scenery and all that, it's completely underrated. And then, yeah.
When's the time to go?
Oh, you want to go if you're going for like just a trip, not a high rocks trip, obviously, but just a trip. Um, three festivals they have. Buskers, which is street performers out downtown, all in a big festival. Natal Days, which is another big street party, and they have a Mardi Gras as well. And they are all fantastic. You can go out there and you can actually get on because the whole city's like on this hill coming down into the harbor. You can get on this thing. I can't remember. It's an old military vehicle that's like a bus convertible in the top, and they'll drive around the city and then straight into the water with it, and then you cruise around the harbor in it, and it's just a great spot. But you can even get like a little two-person helicopter tour you can take over top of the city, and it's a lot of fun. Beautiful, beautiful place.
Maybe we'll be going there this fall. We'll see.
Oh, and then you get like, the East Coast people are so friendly, and if you like seafood, lobster, that's the spot to be.
Hmm.
So, yeah. All right. Well, I think we kept you long enough. I appreciate you coming on. I got to get you over to Farm Girl so we can make you do an HTX.
Yeah,
I had a couple of people do that now. I need a high end guy. What kind of time you can get?
let's do it. I'm
All
good for
right.
you.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
All right. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Take care. I'll probably do an